Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial we are going to be starching our angel. I just thought that'd be cute to hold up. Before we get started, let's talk about what you're going to need. Now in front of me I have my blocking mat with just a little bit of parchment paper on it, and then I just have that pinned down. We're going to need your needles. Same needles we used for the snowflakes. If you didn't do that, there's a description for everything, or a link in the description box for everything that I'm going to show you guys today. So get that, and then I just have a little cup that I'm going to put all of the things that we need to starch in. And then for my starch, I'm using this Purex Stay Flow from Walmart. This is in the laundry aisle, like at the very bottom shelf. You don't have to use this either. You can use Modge Podge and water. You can use Elmer's glue and water. Just do 3 tablespoons glue, 2 tablespoons water. Mix that up and then just follow the same process that I'm going to show you here with the liquid starch. Okay, so we did that. Now, I got these from Walmart. Let me show you the pack. I don't know if this is something that's always at Walmart or if I just happened to find it. You know, like they don't always carry it. I just happened to see it this time, but they're just little foam unicorn horns. Like they're in the little wire place where they have the foam heads and the foam, I think there's a foam dome or all kinds of stuff. But these were sitting in there and I thought, oh my gosh, those would be perfect to pin down the top portion of our angel. But if you can't find these, I'm going to put a link in the description box. I think I have a link. I don't remember honestly right now because I did those links a while ago, but I'll put a link in the description box. If not, just look on Amazon or Hobby Lobby, Joann's, Michael's. I'm sure they have them somewhere. But get you one of these, or a little pack of these, because these are going to be perfect for pinning our angel on here. Okay, so then I have my little pack of paintbrushes, which I just got these at Walmart in the paint aisle. Basically, all these are going to be for is painting the second coat of our starch or our stiffener on the angel. And then I have a balloon and a cup. Now this is for starching the skirt portion. So what we're going to do is just blow this up a little bit. About like that. I have another balloon, so I'm just going to do this and show you what we're going to do. We're going to blow it up a little bit, and then we're going to stick it in this balloon, or in this cup. And then we're going to take the skirt over the top of the balloon and just start pulling it down onto the top of the balloon. Now, I aired that one up too much, and then we're just going to pull it down and pull it down. And it's going to set right on top of that balloon and stretch out all those stitches so you can see the pretty design in the skirt. Okay. That's it, guys. So go ahead and get all your supplies together and let's get started. Okay, so to get started, I'm going to take my cup and my liquid starch and pour some in my cup. That might be enough. All I'm doing is just filling it up enough to be able to soak all of our parts in. And even though this has Poly Fil in it, in our head right here, it's perfectly fine. It isn't going to hurt anything. I am going to get... I got these little skinny stick things from Walmart. I just use them to like stir stuff, or to, like for instance on this, I'm just using it to poke everything down in the starch. And I'm kind of letting it go on its own just because I don't want any bubbles in it or air. I want to get everything nice and soaked. Okay. So now I'm just going to start dropping all these pieces in here. Even the arms and the headband, the skirt, and the wings. Oops, I about messed back up. Alright, get all that in there. Now these ends, I'm just let them hang out because we honestly don't need them to be starched at all. Now I'm just kind of moving everything around. Make sure that head stays down in there. Oh! Alright. Now we wait. I'm going to let this set for a good 25, well, usually a good 15-20 minutes is going to be fine, but I'm going to let mine go about 25 minutes because I got some other things I can get done real quick. And yeah, so if you let these set for an hour and a half, it isn't going to hurt anything. I'm just letting mine set for 25 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to let them set and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, so one of the supplies I forgot to mention that you will need is a hot glue gun. I forgot to mention that, so I just wanted to throw this little video in there. Okay, so all of the angel parts have been sitting in my starch for a good 25-30 minutes. So I'm just going to start pulling everything out and squishing out the excess. I think we're going to start with the wings and the halo first, just because that's the easiest. Now for the upper portion, make sure you squeeze out the head pretty good. You got a huge mess. Okay. I've got it all over me. I'll be right back. Okay, got that cleaned up, and I'm just going to pour the leftover starch back in my jug. Okay, now let's get started with the halo and the wings. I'm going to adjust this. Okay, so the halo, I'm going to start with a pin in the center just to keep it in place. Then I'm going to go right through that single. Come across from this single and go straight into this one. All I'm doing is just to hold it in place. And then we're going to go back and then we're going to open up these chain spaces a little bit. I want to try to keep it as round as I can too. I just noticed it kind of went octagon shaped. Just like that. See how it opened up the chain? Oop. I read a comment on one of my other starching videos, one of the snowflake starching videos, and somebody said, thank you for doing each snowflake part piece by piece, so they knew exactly what to do. And I thought, well, good, somebody Somebody's glad I did that because that's a pain. But I know if I was in your guys' shoes, I would want some, you know, I would want to know exactly what it is that they're doing. And that's looking pretty good. All right. So right now I'm just looking at it straight from the top to make sure it looks as round as I can get it. And I like that. That looks good. Okay, now we're going to move on to the wings. Now we're just going to unfold and make sure the double crochets are facing us. Stretch it out. Now I'm going to start with the center. I'm going to stab myself. Okay, I'm just going to go to the top of that beginning chain, just tight from weaving in my ends, and then the bottom right there. So that stays in place. Let's see, maybe come down here to the bottom of this shell and this shell, making sure I'm lining it up straight. That looks good. So what I'm doing is just making sure it's semi-straight across here. It doesn't have to be perfect, but... And then I'm going to come to the top shell and go right in there and give it just a little bit of a tug. Just like that. I'm going to actually come down a little bit with that bottom. So then I'm going to come to this top, and then I'll readjust this bottom. So the bottom, if you guys can see that black bar, that's from the lighting. I've tried to fix that, but so it looks like this needs to come down farther. And bring this top up. So I'm just going to run my fingers through here to give everything a good stretch. And adjust the height of them. What are you doing? Okay, so I'm going to call that good for the wings and the halo. So I'm going to set that to the side. What do we have now? Okay, let's go ahead and do the upper body portion here. So I'm going to get my foam, push her down on top of that. Churchy. Sorry about that. The cats are wrestling behind me. Alright, so I've got her on this foam horn. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take these arms, so the chain 22s, fold them straight in half to where the knots are right next to each other, and then give that a good pull so it stays pinched. And then these long tails, I grabbed one of my crochet hooks. Take her back off there. I'm going to run up inside the top portion, and then I'm going to grab the tails here and then pull that inside. There. Bring a little more of the chain in there. Okay, set that down and grab my other one. Make sure it's not the headband. Go back in there, grab the tails. And pull it through. And of course I didn't get them all. There. Pull a little more of that chain through. Okay. I'm actually going to pause and go wash my crochet hook. Okay, now I'm going to put her back on this horn. And we're going to take our pins. I was trying to keep this from squeaking, but I think it's going to do okay. Okay, now we're going to take these arms and kind of bring them up and curved like that. Can you see? So it looks like she's praying. I'm going to go through the arms. Just like that. And now do that with the other arm. I need to get more of the chain inside of there. And bring it together. Oh, I just stabbed myself. Go through both chains. So it should look like that. So right now I'm just trying to make sure it's angled good. Okay, I think that's good. Now what I'm going to do is we want her head angled down a little bit to where it looks like her head's bowed while she's praying. Let's see. So I'm going to push the top of the head so it brings it down and run a pin straight down and then into the top of the foam. Just like that. And then just adjust her as you need to. Now that I've bowed her head, I feel like her arms I need to fix. Bring them closer together. There we go. Okay, so I'm happy with that. And now this bottom portion, we want to just kind of get it to stand out like that. Now we can just do that by pulling on it, or I just had an idea. We can take a needle and run it underneath to where the ball of the needle, or just the stem of the needle, will kind of have it standing up like that. Be careful and don't run that through your finger, through the horn and through your finger. I would be the one that did that. Give her one last look. Heard a buffalo coming up the stairs. Okay, so after looking at her, I think I'm going to pull these bottom ones back out and kind of pull her down a little bit. Like that. And then put a pin in there to hold that length. And I'll do it in the back. Like that. Okay, now run the needles underneath the skirt. And these tails we'll worry about after it's dried, because we got to make sure that these arms are going to stay stiff to the top portion. Okay, so now I'm going to set that aside. And we're going to start the skirt. So I'm going to take my balloon. I'm going to blow it up, but not very much, just enough. Oh, let me show you. So about like that, to where it has, see the top point on here? That's what I want the skirt to set on top of. I was just accidentally letting the hair out. Setting on top of. So about like that. Tie it off. I'm going to put it in my cup. And then take the balloon and set it on top. There, see how that nice shape at the top gives the top of the skirt that shape? That's what I want. That's what I'm going for. And now I'm just going to start tugging all the way around to where it lays nice and flat. Now, unfortunately, we can't pin this on the balloon. So I'm just going to go right like that. Make sure my points, the little picots are out. Okay, and now every once in a while, as this is drying, I'll come through here and, you know, give it a good pull down like that again, and then make sure my picots are nice and straight. Now the picots at the top of your pineapple are not going to come down at the same length of the shells. That's all right. Okay, so now I'm going to set that to the side. And I forgot to do our headband on our angel, so I'll get her back. Okay, so we want the humps of the chain, like, oops, the little camel humps of the chain to be what sticks out of her head. So the actual loops of the chain are what's going to be on her head, like that. Okay. So I'm going to get that placed, line it up the best I can, and just pin the very first. I'll try to go through the chain first. There. Bring it through and poke it through her head. Sure I got that placed good. And now take another needle through the other side I'm going to do the chain first just because it's easier. Just right like that. Bring it around again. And then through the head. And then adjust. Okay, just like that, and then we'll take care of these tails later. And it doesn't matter that it doesn't come all the way around her head, because once we put the halo on, you're never going to see it anyway. Okay, make sure the head's straight. Maybe throw another needle in there. I'm going to go into the shoulder area to keep her head from turning like it just was. Okay, so I'm happy with the way this looks. Now I'm just going to set all of my pieces in front of a fan for quite a few hours, especially with this head because it, it's full of that Poly Fil. But like I said with the skirt, I'll come back every so often and just pull it down on top of that balloon again. If you guys can think of an idea to use to starch your skirt on to where you could pin it, that'd be awesome. But I couldn't figure anything out, so I just said to heck with it and did it on a balloon. Okay, so I'm going to set these in front of the fan for a few hours, and I'll see you after that. Okay, guys, it has been quite a few hours, and these have been sitting there. They're pretty dry. Her head is nice and dry. So I'm going to get another one of my cups. And I'm going to pour a little more of my starch in there. And I don't need that much. Kind of like the first time, I guess. We didn't really need quite that much, but that's enough. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I actually, you can do this with one of the paintbrushes out of this pack from Walmart, but I actually have a bigger paintbrush right here, and I'm going to use that. And all we're going to do, I'm just going to start with the wings, is come in with a second coat and just start painting this on. So in all of my snowflake starching videos, I showed you guys how to, I'm trying to think and talk at the same time. I showed you guys how to glitter your snowflakes, and we did that right after we got done painting on the second coat of starch. Now, this is totally up to you. I don't know, I still haven't, I don't know, a part of me wants to do the glitter just only on the wings, like I wouldn't do it anywhere else. But I don't know, I haven't. I just about dumped this entire cup of starch. Way to pay attention. Anyway, I don't know, I haven't decided. I guess I need to pretty quick, but anyway, if you do want to glitter your angel, all you'd have to do is once you get this second coat on, whatever, if you want to do the whole thing, or just the wings, whatever you want to do, just after you get this second coat on, sprinkle glitter all over it and then let it set overnight so it's nice and dry. I'm going to do a really good layer on this second layer, really thick is what I meant to say, because I wanted to make sure they're really nice and stiff. But I think I'm just gonna not glitter mine. I don't want to. I like them better like this. All right. So, and if you, I'm not even on camera. Sorry about that, guys. All I'm doing was just this. If you notice, you can look at the angel and you can, or the wings, and you can kind of tell where the second coat didn't really get, or, you know, didn't really coat very well. It'll be really white, a lot whiter than the rest of it. Yeah, so now you would just cover it in glitter as much as you'd like. Okay, so there's the wings. Now I'm going to go in and do the halo. I'm actually, that middle pin, we can pop that out. Now I'm just going to get these chains. The halo would be cute painted too, or painted, I mean glittered too. Alright, I'm gonna I think I'm gonna call the halo done. Okay, so I'm going to call that done. Now I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do the angel. And I'm just honestly going to go where I can get it. I'm not worrying about these. I can't think of what I'm trying to say. I'm not worried about the tails. That's what I'm trying to say. Get her head really good. Now I'm going to make sure I really get this headband where the headband touches the head, because that's what holds the headband to the head, is the stiffness of the starch. And we may need to run a little bead of hot glue underneath there once we get to that. And her arms. We're supposed to be getting a pretty nasty storm today, like a thunderstorm with tornado and warnings and all that. And I think it's just starting to rain. So I may have started this at a perfect time. Get these tails out of here. I'm going to get up in there. I love how my camera focuses on my hands. Okay. I think I've gotten her. Ooh. I think I just messed up her arm. No, she's alright. I'm going to go one more good time on the back of her neck to keep her head that shape. Get her shirt, her sleeve pointed. Okay, so now I'm just going to set this down, and now we go to the skirt. So this is pretty simple. I mean, pretty much just what we've been doing. Just painting it on. If you guys can hear Matt talking down there, he's on the phone. That's why he's jabbering. But, so yeah, I'm just going to get this done. Let's get all of it as much as I can. Okay, so I'm going to continue doing like I did while this was drying earlier, you know, giving it little tugs. And all right, that's it. So I'm going to set these, actually I'm just going to let them set here overnight, and they should be nice and dry in the morning, okay? So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Okay guys, it is the next morning, so I'm going to start pulling all these pins out. I'm just going to start with the top of the angel first. Twisting on these because I don't want her arms to come off. There. That one. And same thing with the headband. Okay, so this top portion is nice and dry. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll cut the little ends later, but I'm going to set her to the side. And my balloon, I think one of my cats may have poked it last night because it's lost all its air. But there's your skirt. Now, for your guys' balloon, if you can pop it or, you know, just poke it with a pair of scissors and get it to deflate a little bit. And we have our halo and our wings. And there's our wings. All right. And I'm just using my fingernail to hold down the halo while I pull the needles out. And there's her halo. If you guys can hear the wind outside, it is nasty today. Okay. So now I'm going to take my angel and I'm going to cut. I'm going to get my scissors. Okay, so I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to cut these little tails. Just like that. And then come down here and just snip them off. There, that popped up. Well, her arm moved. That's okay. I can just add a little bit of hot glue and hold her arm down. So I've got my hot glue gun heating up and ready to go. So we're just going to start with that arm. That's going to go... Just pull it out a little bit and add a little bead right there. And then set the arm. I may just go ahead and do the same thing with the other arm too. Just holding that for a few minutes. Go ahead and just move this arm out of the way and get a dab in there. I didn't mean to let that go. Alright, I'm just going to hold it for just a second. Okay, so I think that's dry enough. I'm just going to, well, maybe not. Alright, we're going to move on to her halo. Now I'm going to look to make sure that the double crochets are facing me. And just kind of gauge by the round one, like if you run your finger across there, you can feel round one sticks out higher. So I'm going to kind of gauge where I want that to set. It looks like about right there. Put a little dollop there. And then hold this. Okay, so I paused my video and let that dry for a good little bit. I think it's ready to go. So now we're going to glue her to the skirt. So I went through there in the top, this top round of the skirt. I kind of broke that loose a little bit so we can set her on there a little better. But all I'm going to do is run hot glue around here, take the skirt, and just set it right on there. I'm not doing it in any specific way. I guess you could. I guess you could do the pineapple facing forward. That looks good. Okay. Okay. Okay, face her forward, and then take her skirt and set it on there. Oh, that's hot. Alright, now I'm going to hold this and let this dry for a few minutes. Okay, so she's pretty dry right there. And now we are ready to attach the wings. So we can just set those on our back and kind of, you know, go from there how we like the way they look. I like them kind of higher, like right about there. Make sure they're centered. I'm just going to pick them up and go right where the back was. And now I'll adjust them. And then just hold. So I'm going to hold these. Off camera until they dry. Okay, it's nice and dry now. And there is our angel tree topper. Now here's the one I found at the resale shop or rummage sale or antique mall. And then here's the one I made from looking at her. So I hope you guys enjoyed my tutorial. All the tutorials actually, all those parts for this angel. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, leave me a comment, let me know what you guys think. Check out my description box, and in the very bottom of the description box I have my email address is down there. So if you guys need any help, shoot me an email and I will help you out the best I can, okay? And that's it, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.